channel. I am Prabhu KB, CEO of Fibocan. As you are aware, Fibocan is into the business of training, coaching, mentoring and enabling clients through our technology products and solutions and innovative investment strategies, so far, Sonifar and Bormits. They are very powerful and efficient strategies, and our training programs are meant to develop the skills of people so that they can be a successful investor stroke trader, whatever they want to. So in every video we discuss what happened, why it happened, what will happen, why, when and how it will happen, which is why I request everyone to watch the video till the end, click the bell icon, encourage your friends and known person to subscribe. Today is December 3, 2022, Saturday. As always, in this video we will be discussing about the global market performance. In this week, what we will do, global markets, currencies and commodities, we will not only discuss for the previous week, that is the week of November 28th, Monday till yesterday, that is December 2nd. We will also discuss how the month of November fared, because we had given some highlights about how the month closing will be there and all those things. So before that, first we will see the rates. Dow closed, for the month closure was at 34,587.46, 5.7% up, and in the week it closed 0.2% up, 34,428.95, more or less flat. Nasdaq month closure was 11,468 and it closed at 4.4%, while in the week it closed 2.1% up. So as you can see, Nasdaq is started slowly outperforming Dow. So 11,461.50, 2.1% up. S&P 4080.11, 5.4% up in the month, and in the week it closed 4071.70, 1.1% up. So FTSE on the other hand, 7573.07, 6.7% up in the month, and in the week it closed 7556.23, 0.9% up. So what had happened, as we had told, in this month it formed a solid big green candle, all the indices excepting Nasdaq. Nasdaq formed a long leg doji and a green candle, but Dow formed a very big green candle. S&P also followed it by forming a good green candle, and FTSE formed a solid green candle. All these things we have been telling, and Dow is now decisively above the exponential moving average and the middle band in the monthly chart. In the weekly chart also it is above all these things and moving towards the upper band. So one more thing that happened, Nasdaq, likewise Nasdaq formed a long leg doji and it is still below the exponential and middle band. Nasdaq is the only one, whereas S&P formed a relatively better, bigger green candle. But all these indices, of course, FTSE formed a solid green candle. So FTSE, we had indicated that strongest of all the indices, and it is going to form a strong green candle for the month. For the week again, more or less everything formed a solid green candle, though it opened the gap down as we had indicated last week. That is, we told last Saturday's video that Monday there will be a gap down opening. Obviously it happened, but there is no downtrend. The reason is what had happened, this in the December month, the excepting Dow, Nasdaq, FTSE and S&P, all the high of previous months, November high has been taken out. That means it is very difficult for it to go and close below the previous month's low. Even previous month's close itself is open itself very difficult. So forget about the low, which means the downfall in December is going to be very limited. But the up move is also going to be very limited. So all these three indices point out to that. So S&P on the other hand, the same story as I explained all these things, but only thing is that S&P in the weekly also it is now above the exponential moving average, whereas Nasdaq is the only one which is lagging behind. So we have to see how it is going to happen. How the closure of December is very interesting, and what will happen in January, February. So at least in the month of December it is going to be a sideways, which is what is reflected in Indian markets also. So CBOE weeks at 20.58, it is trending down weekly, monthly and daily, all time frames, and in this month also, in the 2 days of trading in December, it has taken down the previous month's low, which means it requires extremely great effort for it to go above and close the previous month's close, high, forget it. So hence all these things point out to one thing, that there is going to be a relatively stable equity markets for the month of December, unless otherwise something dramatic happens in the Fed meeting on December 13th and 14th. So that is not in our technical analysis hands, that's beyond our control. Technically the picture is looking like this. Dollar index 104.450. If you recollect, last month we told that at least for the month of November, the 105.36 will act as a support. So which is what had happened. Why? Because it closed the month, that is November, at 105.587. Now in the monthly chart, it is below the exponential moving average. So which is not a good sign from a dollar perspective, but for an equity risk on asset classes like equities, it's a good sign, positive sign. How it had happened? USD, Euro versus USD 1.050, it closed the week, but month it closed at 1.0540 and it is above the Bollinger upper band in the weekly chart. That means you can see last week itself we told that it formed a green candle, it is on an uptrend. In the monthly, it is just last month November it closed below the exponential moving average, but now it is above the exponential moving average. We have to see whether it is able to sustain above that and close in the month of December, or it is going to form a doji. GBP versus USD, same story. It closed at 1.2298. Month close, of course, month it closed at 1.2076. Weekly, it is just below the Bollinger upper band in the weekly. It's relatively this one. Whereas in the case of Euro, it is touching the upper band. USD versus JPY 134.30. Month close was over at 137.36. Formed a solid red candle, and this was the first month it formed. It closed below the Bollinger upper band in the monthly chart, which is a good sign. And weekly also it is trending down, moving towards the lower band. So all these things indicate, unless otherwise something dramatic reversal happens, which I think 13th, 14th can be a make or break. Otherwise, it is going to be a status quo, and we will see a sideways movement in all these asset classes, that is dollar index and currency pairs, which will in turn reflect that asset classes risk on asset classes like equities will be on a sideways, if not great up. Next is our interest. As an Indian, our interest USD INR 81.438. Month close was at 81.374. Solid red candle. This is the first month after 8 months. It closed below the Bollinger upper band, which is a good sign, like JPY. However, the good sign ended there, because in the weekly, JPY is strong. Why? Because in the weekly, USD is going towards the lower band, but in the weekly, in the USD INR pair, it is just hovering around the middle band and the exponential moving average, and there is no threatening evidence seen that it will go down further. Hence, we might even see the price going up and even closing above the Bollinger upper band in this month. If that happens, the uptrend will continue. Hence, people have to be very cautious with USD INR, thinking that dollar index is going down, INR will also strengthen. That strength is not seen in the technical analysis. USD, US 10-year Treasury yield at 3.492, month close was at 3.611, solid red candle. It formed a reversal. Last 3 months it formed, if you recollect, it formed a solid green candle. Obviously, falling 3 methods is the candle that it has to form. It formed that and formed a reversal, and it continued its downtrend and continuing its downtrend. Hence, we can see some more fall, and if it closes below 3.3 or some levels, then we can expect that to go down further. Okay, so and dollar index again 105.3 will now act as a resistance. Earlier it was acting as a support, which we told. Now going back to Brent and NYMEX. Brent at 85.57, NYMEX at 80.30, WTA NYMEX. Brent monthly close was at 85.43, NYMEX closed at 80.56. In the monthly, as I said, it is below the exponential and middle band. However, it is just hovering around there. In the weekly, it formed a solid green candle, though it can be more of a technical bounce back than a strong reversal. However, we need to wait for some more time. But one thing is sure, if it crosses the middle band and the exponential moving average in this month and closes strongly, then the downfall will be arrested in the from the months of January and February. So with all these things, I am sure that Indian market also will mimic what is happening in the US markets, and we are going to see a sideways month in the month of December. Most likely, that is what we are expecting. Thank you very much.